Suns in four. Suns in four. But the Nets and the Bucks, oh my goodness, the Nets and the Bucks, y'all. That security guard situation, wild. Wild. Can he really do it all? And should he have to do it all?
Welcome to Her Sports Convo with Ashleigh Wilson.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Crazy to see you here again. I hope you had a good week last week. I hope you have a good week this week. Oh my goodness, I don't know the last time it's been me and y'all. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we were just going to hang out together. You know, the Cordell Patterson episode was supposed to be, just me and y'all, but gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. So we're back here again. I mean, a lot's happened since we last talked. The last time we talked about anything in general other than our guest, it was like the play-in tournament. And shout out to CJ and Jordan, even though he couldn't be there with us. But that's the last time, we just kicked it. And it wasn't even just me and you. It was me and CJ. So we have to start off with the NBA, of course, because that's the hot topic in sports right now. And just for, circumstantial situations, today's Tuesday for me, Tuesday morning to be exact. And it is Thursday or later, afternoon, Monday, whenever you decide to watch this. You're living in the future. I'm living in the past. So for me, the thing that happened last night, y'all all know that the Clippers tied it up. The Bucks and Nets are still tied for me. The Suns won. Suns in four. Let's talk about that for a second. Like the Suns, I'm very proud of them. I am very proud of the Suns and what they have done. I thought they would have a good run, but then I was like, is it this situation where like they had a really good regular season and they come out in the postseason and they're not doing it? But shout out to Devin Booker. He's, putting the team on his back the first 3 quarters and getting the job done. DeAndre Ayton is stepping up very well in circumstances that I really didn't see him doing that in as well, or either. I think either's the correct term there. I think that they have a bright future. They have a lot of young guys. They have Cam Payne. I mean, who expect Cameron Payne to be like an underdog, guy rising from the Phoenix kind of situation? Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, let's keep going. Everyone on their team is stepping up, even though, yes, Devin Booker is scoring like 47 points a night, and he's coming in that like really nice, giving off his real Mississippi vibe drip situation he has going on. I think that everyone is doing very well, and it's not as a situation in like Atlanta where like if Trey has a bad night, it's all over from there. Or in Dallas, like if Luka had a bad night, you're not going to win the game. I feel like if, they could still win if Devin doesn't score 50, but Devin just happened to just be on the road to score 50, and they're having a good time. I mean, if y'all saw the DeAndre Ayton tweet of him like hopping out of his like fancy car that I don't even know the name of it because it's so fancy. He was like celebrating with the fans and stuff after they gave back. I was also shocked because it was like 11-ish o'clock my time when that game ended. Probably even like 11:30, almost 12. So by the time they got back from Denver, I know it was like 12 o'clock, at least 11 o'clock their time. So like, did these people have jobs? Don't they have to go to work? But I mean, does anyone work anymore? And then they had like actual brooms out there. I was like, y'all are wild. Some of y'all definitely went in your house, grabbed your mama's broom, and she woke up the next morning. She was like, why is my broom in your car? But I mean, I'm happy for the Suns. Like, they deserve it. They went undefeated in the bubble. And they finally, as they said in all their press conferences, it really helped them. It glued them back together. They figured it out. And they're really showing now that they figured it out. And Chris Paul is being that, like, old guy in the team. He's being like the old, player on the team that, like, keeps them together. Like, I really do get, like, AAU coach vibes from him. Like, he's, like, doing hall checks and running in the locker room, and they're like celebrating and stuff, and he's like, no, we're not done yet, we still have so much left to do. So I give them the best. I'm not putting anything on the Suns because I am very known for jinxing people. If you're here, if you've been here for a long time, this is our second run of the NBA playoffs around here at Her Sports Convo, and I'm very bad at jinxing people. And it's not just in the NBA. If you've been following on the Her Sports Convo Instagram, it's at Her Sports Convo. If you did not know, on the stories, I've been really active over there lately. Not so much this week because I've been a little busy. But I was following JMU softball. Shout out to the Dukes. I was following them heavily. I was heavily invested in their, rise to fame, winning the Women's College World Series, and it didn't work. I 100% think I jinxed them, and now I'm afraid to put any feelings and emotion toward any team that I want to win. So I'm not going to do that because I don't want to jinx anybody. And I really like Chris Paul, and I don't want to jinx him either. So I don't know who's going to win, but I know it's not going to be the Suns. The Suns have a really good chance. They're gluing well together, and they'll play either the Jazz or the Clippers, and they tied it up last night. And it just seems like the Jazz left all their, stuff in Utah, because they just don't even look like the same team they looked like when they were in Utah. It is completely insane. And I really like Donovan Mitchell. He showed so much of himself in the playoffs. Hold on. Let's back up a few steps. These young guys in the playoffs, they've been doing so well. They've been doing so well. It's completely insane. And when you pair that together with especially the ones that have old guys on their team, like I was saying about Devin Booker and the Chris Paul, backcourt situation, teammate thing they got going on, and the ones that don't have one, like Luka or Ja Morant. Well, I don't. Does Dylan Brooks qualify as an old guy? I mean, he's only been in the league for 8 years, but I don't know how the qualifications for that work. But I really do think that they're showing that the league is in good hands. They have very bright futures. They stepped up to the plate when it counted most. Because you hear all the stories about the young guys who make it to the playoffs for the first time, and they kind of just ride under the radar. They don't really step up as they do in the regular season, and they're kind of putting that to shame this year, and I'm very proud of them. Donovan Mitchell is doing all he can for Utah right now, and it's everyone else forgot that they're still in the playoffs. You have to win at least 4 games to win, and I thought they are oh, we only had to win those 2 at home, and so now the series is tied. But also the Clippers have played better, because they played a whole 7-game series and they had to turn around a day after and go play Utah. So they were tired of the first one, probably still tired of the second one. And so now that they're home in LA, they got a break. They got to sit back, eat some snacks, take a break, and they have the energy to play them. But if this series also goes 7, then they'll have to turn around a day later and then go to Phoenix. I'm not saying that the Clippers can't do it, but I'm also saying I don't really think I want to live in the world where the finals are the Clippers and the Bucks. I really don't, you guys. I don't want to see it. I mean, nothing against the Clippers, nothing against the Bucks, but the Clippers and the Bucks in your NBA Finals, I'd rather see the Jazz and the Bucks. No. The Jazz and the Sixers. If I have to see something I don't want to see, I rather see the Jazz and the Sixers. I feel that's going to be a lot of defense, but we're not even going to go down that road until it happens, y'all. We're not even going to put ourselves in that headspace until it happens. I think the Jazz can pull it off. Yes, I'm over here putting all the bad juju's on the Jazz now. Watch them lose the series now just because I said that. But I think they can, especially once because they're going back to Utah. Donovan Mitchell will have some time to rest, because I feel every single game he's tweaked his ankle or he's tweaked his knee or something. So I feel once he gets his time to rest, it'll be beneficial to him as well as it was for the Clippers. So it's going to be hard in the West. It's going to be hard to predict anything in the West, especially now, which there's still only one team playing. It's the Clippers and the Jazz. But if I have to guess something's going to happen, I think it's going to go 7, and I think the Jazz are going to win. Watch the Jazz lose now. I'm so sorry, Jazz fans. If you just heard that, I'm so sorry. But I have a strong feeling no Jazz fans listen to this podcast. Because how many Jazz fans are there really in the world? No shade to Jazz fans, but how many of you are really out there? You know what I mean? But in the East, oh my gosh, in the East, shout out to the Hawks for multiple reasons. But shout out to the Hawks. I 100% was the Hawks and Sixers series is over. It's dead. They tried their best. Trae Young did a very good job. They won the first one. It was fun. It was exciting. But no. Trae Young was we're not done yet. No. Hit the Hamilton theme song or whatever it's called. I had no faith that they were going to win game 4. I just okay, they're going to lose game 4. They're going to go back to Philly and it's going to be over. It's going to be a wrap. The Sixers are going to get a rest while the Nets and the Bucks fight it out. They did a very good job. Trae Young, as always, he scored 900 points and kept them in the game. And then Clint Capella finally, got around to it in the third and the fourth. and everyone else started to contribute a little bit more, especially in the fourth, and they were able to pull it off. Now, if you watched the game, you saw how tired Joel Embiid looked. Like, you can see it, like, in his eyeballs, how tired he looked. And, I mean, it has to be a very big burden to carry a whole entire basketball team. You know what I mean? And if you lose, then you know people are going to be like, oh, Joel didn't do this, Joel didn't do that, blah, 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 blah. So it has to be hard, but the series is tied. I don't know who's going to win that, honestly, because every day it's like, okay, the Sixers are going to win. And then you get like halfway through the game and then you're like, maybe are the Hawks gonna pull this out? I would love to live in a world where the Hawks pulled it out, but I also would hate it so much. Not only for the Sixers fans, because y'all been through a lot. The people out there in Philadelphia, you've been through a lot. Y'all been trusting the process for like 900 years. And for you to lose as the 1 seed to the Hawks, who are like the 5 seed, like that would be hard for me to watch. I wish I knew. I wish I could literally make a prediction about it, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I know I only have 2 options, but I truly don't know which option to choose because every single game it's someone else. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a prediction about it because I don't know. But the Nets and the Bucks, oh my goodness, the Nets and the Bucks, y'all. That security guard situation, wild. Yes, I know this has nothing to do with the game, but that security guard situation is completely insane. Like, he ran out on that court like he was the bouncer at the nightclub. Like, that was completely wild and insane. But KD, at least you know you have a really good looking out for you security guard. Like, he really does his job very well. He was taking it to the court. But the fact that they suspended him for the entire rest of the season, that was a little drastic. Like, the man was just doing his job. He was doing his job. And I mean, you can't blame him for trying to do his job and protect the person who pays his bills. I mean, come on now. Aside from that, they've had a lot, I feel like they've had a lot of drama. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't just been like make funny jokes about the things that are happening in the game. I feel like outside the game, they've had a lot of drama. Like, they've had, the Harden injury and now the Kyrie injury. And now you kind of have like Bruce Brown, who's like coming up like, okay, I can be your new Kyrie KD. I can put the team on my back. And I mean, he did a really good job in game 4. Shout out to Bruce Brown. He did a really good job in game 4. And then when it came down to the clutch moments, it just really didn't work in his favor. And he tried his best. He tried his absolute best. You could tell he tried his best, but it just really didn't work out. And so I wish that I could say I'm very confident in the fact that the Knicks are going to go back to Brooklyn and they're going to win the game and they're going to have the lead and then they're going to go back to the Bucks and they're going to win. But I don't know now. Like, I don't know because in my time, Kyrie is out for game 5. Who knows about James Harden? And KD is probably tired because if y'all saw game 4, the Bucks threw everything his way. They were like, we're going to play 5-on-1 and everyone else is going to have to figure it out because KD was trying to still put the ball in the hoop and there was like 19 people on him and he was still trying to force the ball. And I wish there was somebody else on their team. Like, because even Blake Griffin is out. He got that little injury. I don't know how, like, the dimensions, the levels of the injury it is, how long he's going to be out, if he's even going to be out. But I just really wish that they had someone else. I feel like the benefit of having a super team is that you have a super team, quote unquote, or the benefits of having a big 3 is you have a big 3. But those big 3 people want to make $500,000 million a year. And if those 3 people make $500,000 million a year, then that means you can't play for, above average people to be on your team as well. But also, you don't really have those mid layers. You don't really have your campaigns. You don't really have your Cam Johnsons. You don't really have your Dylan Brooks. You don't really have, like those people who like fill in the holes and fill in the gaps and things like that. And that's where the Nets are really looking like they are, I don't want to say failing right now, but yeah, they kind of are. And I wish they weren't, but they kind of are. And that's just kind of the situation when you have a big 3 and 2 of your big 3 are out. And it leaves all the pressure on the one person left, which is KD. And I mean, yeah, KD is a really good basketball player. I mean, he's definitely got Hall of Fame. He's rising to the level he's getting there, but also, can he really do it all? And should he have to do it all? These are very good Like, should he have to do it all? I don't think so, because when he, came upon the team, yes, he was injured and he didn't play last year, but he had Kyrie, and then y'all literally flipped the whole league upside down, and you got Blake Griffin, you got James Harden, you got Mike D'Antoni as your coach, you got Steve Nash as your coach. Like, they literally have an entire Hall of Fame team. When the going got tough, it was just KD left. And people bash KD for the fact that, his rings don't really count because he went to Golden State and got his rings. They don't really count. Technically, they do, because that man is really good. But he's not the kind of player that goes somewhere else and helps other people be good. You know what I mean? He doesn't, help other people reach their best potential. No shade to KD. We still love him over here. He is the face of a generation, especially mine. 100%. We were in elementary school. Everyone was rocking those original KDs with the Oklahoma City colors and the Wiz Khalifa blonde patch. It was an era. Let's not go back. But he just doesn't go into a team and make other people better. And I'm not saying that's a skill he lacks, but I'm saying it's just not KD. And I don't think KD wants to be that kind of player, because that's what LeBron does. And KD wants to be KD. The Bucks and the Nets, it's going to be fun. I really was kind of hoping in the back of my, neck right here, if you're not looking at the video version, it's it's probably like a lymph node or a node or a bone or something, like right along that shoulder line, that the Nets would sweep the Bucks. I was like, oh, that would be great TV. That would be such a fun time on the timeline. Solely because, the Nets, they were making all those tweets talking about, this is not the bubble and we beat the Heat. Ma. I do have to say the playoffs have been very exciting. As you know, the regular season was absolutely horrible. It was so bad. So the fact that, they gave us the drama, they gave us the interesting things in the playoffs. As a basketball fan, I appreciate it. I also do not appreciate how y'all are making me stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning every night. Sunday through Thursday. This is not fun. This is not fun, y'all. Can we start playing games at 5? It's 5 o'clock. I'm 5 o'clock Eastern time. Hear me out, Adam. Hear me out. You can play the games that people don't really, I don't want to say people don't really care about, but you can throw on the Hawks and the Sixers at 5:30. At least 6. Can we agree on 6? 6 o'clock. Because it's 3 o'clock on the West Coast. The people, they don't work. And if they do work, everyone nowadays, half of them work at home, and everyone carries a phone with them where they can watch the game. March Madness comes on at 12 o'clock my time. It's 9 o'clock in the morning for them. They're still watching it. You show basketball at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sundays. It's 12 o'clock over there. What is in its summertime anyways? Every day is Sunday. Every day is Saturday. So please, Adam Silver, I'm begging you, please start the games at least at 6. So some of us over here don't have to go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Full transparency, the Clippers game that came on last night, again, today's Tuesday, I think it was game 4. They were going into the fourth quarter. They were up by 25. I said, I'm going to bed. If they come back and I miss it, they come back and I miss it. But I had no faith that the Jazz were going to come back. Again, no shade to Jazz fans, but I had no faith and I went to bed because it was already 12:15. Again, I'm not the kind of person that's oh my God, it's 12 o'clock, I have to go to bed. But I'm also not the kind of person that I have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning. I need at least 5 hours of sleep. Come on now, y'all. So, Adam Silver, if you're listening, help a girl out and not start games at 9 and 8. I mean, 8 is a fine time, but we can also start at 6. It's just an idea. Please hear me out. For the people on the East Coast that also like the basketball, we want to watch the West Coast games. We want to support those teams. We want to see the interesting plays and all the jumps and leaks and the ducks and all those things. But we also don't want to have to go to bed after 1 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be it for this week's episode. Make sure to like, comment, rate, subscribe wherever you decide to listen to your podcast today. Head on over to Her Sports Convo to stay up to date on all things Her Sports Convo. If you happen to not be watching this on the YouTube channel, what are you doing? Come watch. Come watch. What are you doing? You're missing out on all the fun, the things that happen over at the Her Sports Convo YouTube channel. I post fun videos on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch out the podcast on 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And especially if you're on the Instagram, check out the Instagram. I made an IGTV. I posted on like Sunday or Saturday. I don't know. All the days still the same in summertime, as you know. But it really went into like the why I started Her Sports Convo and just the craziness that I've been seeing in sports lately that have really just ticked me off. So check out the IGTV. It's still fairly close to the shop because it happened like less than a week ago for you guys. So check it out. But as always, be safe, have fun, and don't be afraid to join the convo. I feel like the lighting is changing so much in here and it's stressing me out, y'all. It's stressing me out.